Okay, so today, just a bit of a different one. I know I've been slacking on the uploads, I'm sorry, but I've been busy. But today I'm going to talk about why I was busy today. I went to my first ever wrestling convention, the For the Love of Pro Wrestling in Manchester today. And I'm just going to talk about my experience. No, I didn't take too many pictures, so I've got more of the haul, if anything. But I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was interesting, and I like shit like that. So today it was simple. I booked tickets to meet two wrestlers, and those two were two of my all-time favorites. I got to meet Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, and I got to meet Ring of Honor and overall legend Samoa Joe. So that was really cool. And then besides that, I just got to roam around, experience the vendors, shit like that. But I'm just going to talk about, my experience of the day, first time for con, what my thoughts were, and just what I got, because I think that's the interesting part. So, the main thing I want to talk about, it was very busy. I didn't expect it to be that busy. But when I got there, it was busy. It didn't smell too bad, which was good. It smelled a bit bad, but not too bad. People were nice enough, people understood. The guests, we got there an hour after it opened, so I think I missed my original photo op for Kurt, because they had to split it up to photo ops and signings. It was weird. But, yeah, the problem was they didn't have no barriers for the lines, and the lines were long. I thought I'd missed my Kurt Angle second, and it was like 9:30 for Kurt, then 11:30, and then you'd have to wait till 4 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm not doing that, and I don't want to miss out on meeting Kurt Angle, so what the fuck? And I'm normally not like that, by the way. I'm normally one of those people who goes, oh, I want to go meet so-and-so. Like, don't wrong, there's certain exceptions. Brian, obviously, and these two were. But it's like, I don't know, it's very funny to me, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's just not me. But I thought, this is a new experience, let me give it a go, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. The venue, like I said, it was just quite a barren hall. It was quite spacious, which was good. It was busy, it really was busy. What was cool is they had a ring in the middle, so you had interviews, so they had the Inspiration come out, Orange Cassidy had an interview completely in character, and there was a bunch of JR and Jerry Lawler were there. Don't know why Jerry Lawler's still getting work, but he's in the stage and they're just talking. They couldn't make it down to the ring, but it's a bunch of stuff like that. And it was good. They always play wrestling adjacent music, and yeah, it was fine. I don't regret going. I thought it was pretty fun. The lack of actual stalls for something to eat and something to drink, it was kind of odd. There was only food outside, which was good, but it was still quite busy. And then not all of those sold drinks, which was bullshit. They had a bar, but I just I don't want to spend £6 for a drink. We'll talk about spending money. Never from there. Jesus, I spent quite a bit. But then the good thing I really enjoyed was the vendors, the sellers. They were really cool. Now, for me, someone who's not really a massive WWE fan, I'm not really a fan. I'm not saying not a fan, but it's not the thing I'm interested in. It was kind of hard to find stuff that was there for me. There was a lot of AEW stuff. There was a good bit, more than I expected. So I don't collect all the AEW figures. I just try and get some. And the two I've been wanting for a while are Swerve and Okada. They're the two. And, see if any I like, you know what I mean? Like a Jay White, but you know what I mean? Nothing crazy. Ones that I actually do think look good. And they had basically the same in the UK. It's hard to get AEW figures. I'll be completely honest, it is. I'm lucky I've got an Ospreay, and that was really hard to get. But, yeah, shit like that. It just feels very, very WWE heavy, which is obvious, it's gonna be. But there was a lot of AEW stuff, but just not the stuff I was looking for. And barely any New Japan and other company stuff, which is kind of disappointing. I thought there'd be a lot more, early 2000s Ring of Honor shit. I thought that would be a thing. The stuff they had on show was good. I will say there was this one big poster book which I adored. They had this. It was massive posters, and they didn't let you take pictures, which was bullshit. But one of them was a poster of only two existed, and Bret Hart as the other one. That was really cool. Then they had this old school belt, which I'll show. There's a bunch of independent stuff, which was great. And one of them was a indie wrestler I was a fan of, and I messaged a few times. He's pretty cool. It's Ravy Davey, Scotland. He's really fucking cool. I love Ravy Davey. I spoke to him, just said to him, because he went on a tour of Japan not long ago. Got to speak to him for a few bit. Got a shirt. But we'll talk about that more in the hall. And, yeah, just basically, and then the Progress Wrestling were there. WL3 or whatever they were called. W3L, something like that. A bunch of Atomic, a bunch of stuff was scattered about. But, yeah, mainly I was there for AEW stuff in terms of the hall. And I found some, but then it just kind of trickled into New Japan and just Japanese in general. But we'll go on to that in a second. I just want to say, the event, it was good. It was good. I don't regret going. I did enjoy it. I did leave. I left about like 20 to 2. It wasn't an all-day thing for me. And there was a Progress Wrestling show at the end, but it was just not an all-day thing for me. I just wanted to go. Because by the time I got my picture with Joe and got my picture with Kate, Swerve was there. And I wanted to get a picture with Swerve. And I was just like, you can buy it on. But Swerve wasn't getting pictures till like 5 to 4. And it was only like 20 minutes. And I was just like, this isn't going to happen. It's a shame, but I think that was a big miss. But shit like that, I mean, it was good. It was good. I just wish that, one, there was a bit more organisation. I feel like that's valid. But, you know, you can't really help that. But in general, it was a good experience. For me, there was not too much to do after it. Like, there was a video game section, which you had, like, all the consoles with all the wrestling games. That was pretty neat. But I'm not one of those people who just wants to sit around and see wrestlers talk about with audience questions, you know what I mean? I'm not like that. As, you know, in terms of that big of a group set, and I feel like more of an incident, like an inside the ropes thing, that would be pretty cool. But besides that, it was fun. I do recommend. So, you know, all shout outs for the love of wrestling. Definitely recommend it. And if you're more of a, you know, some people obviously who are more WWE fans, definitely it's worth your while. Wasn't that far. It was kind of a bitch to get to, but once you got there, it was fine. And then, frankly, it was just it was good. It was good. I don't want to sound, I feel like I'm not sounding like incredibly happy. I was happy. I got to meet 2 of my favourite wrestlers ever. So, yeah, and just the stuff. But I'll talk about the stuff that I got now, because I feel like that's what people are more asked about. So, the first thing we have to show is my pictures, obviously, with Samoa Joe. My picture with Samoa Joe. I'll put a picture up, but there it is there. I'm very happy with this, because I am quite self-conscious, believe it or not, and I think I don't look bad here. I got to talk to Joe about my time with at All In, where my first ever wrestling show, and just say, it went for long, they do rush you, because it is busy, they got to okay, thanks guys, and they have to repeat it before they do kind of push you out. I just got to say to him, we just kept chanting your name, and that was pretty cool. He laughed. When I agreed to them, I just went, oh, it was funny as hell. I don't know what it was sick as hell. But Joe, such a cool guy, obviously. I'm not going to act like we're best friends, I'm not one of those parasocial people, but really cool. I'm just happy I got to meet Joe. He done the pose, so, you know, yeah, he's huge. His hands are fucking huge. They're probably the size of my face. It's insane. I got that one in a frame. I need to get a frame for the other one, which is Kurt Angle. Now, there I am with Kurt. I was very happy how that one looked out. You know, I probably look a bit happier there. I don't know why. I was more just, like, chuffed with Joe. This one I'm just happy with. Kurt was great. He actually, like, tried to encourage to speak to people a bit more. Nothing crazy, you know what I mean? He understood. But he was like, oh, yeah, like, asking a follow-up question. That was really neat of him. I just said Kurt. And this is all true. You are one of the funniest people I've ever seen in my life. Without you, I'm not into wrestling. And it was all completely true. He said, I really appreciate that. I said, Kurt, no worries, mate. Good luck with everything. And, yeah, such a cool guy. I'm very happy with Kurt Angle. But Kurt and Joe, 2 TNA legends. There was other people like Swerve, Cassidy, Darby Allin was there. Saraya was huge. People like that. But Swerve and Kurt for my guys. You know, but I'm very happy. And I don't look bad in the pictures. I'm very happy about that. But the other shit, so, like I said, there was AEW figures, but not the ones I wanted, like, you know, not an Okada or a Swerve, but I didn't have John Moxley. I mean, I had this older Moxley with the hair, but he comes with the belt, and he wasn't charging, like, too much for that, so I got that. I was happy with that. You know, Moxley's one of my favourites, it makes sense, and it's not a bad figure. And then, my only WWE purchase was an AJ Styles Elite number 51. This one I got because he frankly looks like Bullet Club-esque AJ, and I kind of want that. That's what I was kind of after, so I'm not one of those people to mod it. I'd love to, but if anyone knows any modders, that'd be great. But this is good. This is a good figure. I'm happy. I haven't unboxed them yet. I do unbox my figures. But again, we also got another one in a sec that I won't be unboxing. The other things, so the Inside the Ropes people were there, and they had this big fuck-off book, and it looked pretty cool. I thought it was, like, you know, going to be proper informative and stuff, reviews, but it was just basic indexes, and I wanted it in appearance, but once they said that, I was like, I can't. But they were giving out their magazines, and I love this. I adore shit like this. This is phenomenal. It's when Hangman won. They were giving this out for free to, like, you know, encourage people to subscribe, so definitely check that stuff out if you haven't. I'm gonna love to go to an Inside the Ropes event, but I love this. I adore this. I haven't read it yet, but I just love, like, the old 2000s-esque magazine covers, and that fits it perfectly. Obviously, AEW All In with Hangman. Phenomenal. I adore this. And then another thing I got was the AEW Origins comic. So I have the AEW covers for the DCKO events that they're doing. But this was like they were doing like small prequel stories or like to other stories in DC a while ago for Swerve, Darby, Tony, Britt Baker, Orange and Osprey. So, but they just put them all in one comic. I didn't have this, so I just wanted it. It wasn't too bad. He gave me a $5. I was happy with that. And the guy didn't know what it was. The last two things I'm very happy about. Well, no, I've got another thing. So, I'm not a big trading card guy, but I did not know these existed. They had this guy was selling a bunch of trading cards, in packs, not in packs, slots. And they had New Japan trading cards, which I did not know these existed. I thought these were fucking sick. I've got them here. I'll put the pictures up. I got a New Japan holo, like logo holo, Tanahashi holo, Kota Ibushi holo, an Osprey attacking. I think that's Naito, Ishii, Shibata, Okada, Jay White. I got this Suzuki Strong Style one, which I think is fucking sick. Really like that. And then an Osprey normal. I think these are really cool, and I've never seen them before, so I'm not gonna. I hope I don't collect these. Jesus, probably be very expensive with tariffs. But these are really cool. I'm just fond of them. They're very much a novelty. But they had AEW ones, but I didn't have a lot of time because it was quite a thingy. But I'd like to get into card collection with the. I'd be very, very unlucky with card collecting because Jesus, I would spend a lot of money. But they're cool. I like them. So if anyone has any or whatever, these are sick. I didn't find no Kennys. I wanted to look for Kennys or the books or whatever. I couldn't find any, but I was happy I found the Shibata and Ishii. I was very happy with that. I was going to pick up more, but I just didn't want to overcharge. I'm not going to pay so much for a novelty. I spent like 20 quid. These last two are incredible. So, this guy was like the only New Japan seller, selling. He clearly knew like Japanese stuff, which was great. So, he had a Japanese family. And, he had this one thing. I'm going to show it on screen now. It was like this New Japan book from a Wrestle Kingdom, and it was like only 600. And I picked it up and said, what is this? Because he was selling like just Japanese stuff in general, like video games and stuff. And I was like, oh, he said, you'll never hold another one of them in your life. And I went, what? And he said, I went to Wrestle Kingdom, blah, blah, blah. And they're signed by Jay White, other people, I forget who he said. But they were phenomenal. And I was like, I asked, is it for sale? He said 250 quid. So I'm not going to pay 250 quid for something I don't really know. But it was excellent. But he was cool. I was just talking to him about Japanese stuff, New Japan and other companies. Because I said, you're the only guy here who's not really WWE heavy. And he's like, I know, I'm not really a fan. I said, neither am I. So we just started talking. He was more of a New Japan guy because he goes over to Japan every year. So he's sick. He was trying to explain to me how big Yota Tsuji is, which I was happy about. But he went over for Tanahashi's retirement. And he was selling the new... So, because it was such a big deal in Japan, I put a picture up. They sold these newspapers, which is like an event. And I fucking love shit like this. I adore shit like this. So I got this newspaper, just basically about Tanahashi's retirement. It's like a little magazine, but newspaper format. And I think that's really sick. Aaron Wolf's in there. I think there's Takeshita and fucking Yota Tsuji. This is fucking sick. I love shit like this. I adore shit like this. It wasn't too expensive. It's a fucking newspaper, but still, it was like I think it was a tenner. This was just a tenner. Not too bad, but I'm happy with that a lot. I said I have to take that. But then my big purchase, quote unquote, big purchase, was I cannot believe how happy I am with this. So we had a bunch of old wrestling figures. I was like, no way. And I seen this, and I was debating it, and I was like, I have to get it. It is. It's in a case, and this is how big it is. It is a Kenta Kobashi old Noah figure, and Jesus, I adore this. It's fucking Kenta Kobashi, bro. Kenta Kobashi, Jesus. And I'm like, I'm never gonna take this out the plastic case, and never mind the figure. It's just, how else are you gonna get Kenta Kobashi like stuff? This is incredible, and it wasn't like I say it was a big purchase. It was the most I spent, but like, Jesus, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's worth it, bro. It's a fucking Kenta Kobashi figure on card. And he was lucky enough to keep it in the plastic. He didn't even mention that, so I was very grateful for that. I've got his details somewhere. I think this is it. Pardon me. It's the Saw Form Retro Games, I think. If that's the guy, that's a shout out to him. He's really cool if that was him. If not, I should have another one, but I'll find it. He was really cool. But this is my favourite thing I bought. This is one of the coolest things I own. I adore this. I have the Ring of Honor Bryan. I should do... If anyone gives a shit about my wrestling stuff, please let me know, because I'll do stuff on like wrestling figures and shit that I own. Besides, I've done books, but you know what I mean. And I adore this. I adore this. This is my favourite thing. This is very rare. You're probably never going to see shit like this. The thing is, you're never going to get shit like this in the UK, around the world, ever, without paying like an extortionate amount. But the fact that he had Japanese family, it's directly from Japan. oh, I don't regret this for a second. If I didn't get it, I would have regretted it for the rest of my life. This is incredible. And the fact that it's Kenta Kobashi, because you had other people, but it's Kenta Kobashi. I mean, Jesus fuck. They didn't have Masawa or anyone, but they had the guy who, I forget his name. He was in Liger's last match. But the 6-man, but it's fucking Kenta Kobashi, bro. I don't give a shit. I had to get this. And I adore this. This is one of my favourite things I own. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. You know, meeting Joe and Kate was a highlight. The stuff I got was happy. I got the Ravy Davies shirt. I'll put a picture up of that now. I just got that to support the guy, to be honest. But, because, shout out Ravy Davies, he's fucking sick. But, yeah, overall, it was good. I enjoyed finding, like, a little world for wrestling. It wasn't the most... I feel this is going to be sounding me, like, snobby. It was very WWE heavy, which is good. But it was, like, there's not a lot of people to talk to about... other wrestling. Like, I thought I'd had a lot of people talk about New Japan. A lot of people knew AEW, but didn't really watch the product consistently. In much as they lied, you could tell. And then you had, like, no one really knew about CMLL, no one knew about New Japan. And that's what I was looking forward to. They didn't have that, but that might just be me not talking to the right people. It was really cool. It was nice to just be in a place of wrestling. It was very sweaty. Jesus, it was very sweaty. It was very warm. But the conventions are. And overall, for the love of wrestling, I liked it. I'll probably be going again. It's in Manchester BEC Arena. I highly recommend people go. It's fun. A lot of people, everyone had positive things to say about it who went previously. It's the first time I've been to a wrestling con, never mind that. So apparently that seemed like a good one to go to. If anyone knows any other wrestling conventions or events and to go, that'll be more non-WWE. Like more either just New Japan, CML, even AEW. Let me know, because that's more my speed. But this was good. It wasn't that. This was very much all of wrestling suspension. Like, you know, it wasn't anti-AEW or anything. It was just not the world of wrestling, for lack of a better term. But it was a good event. I do recommend people go. Definitely shout out to those guys. And it wasn't so expensive either. I will say that. It wasn't that expensive. But overall, good. I recommend. And if you ever went, I got to meet some of you. Hello. That was pretty cool to meet you, I guess. Everyone I met was pretty neat. And yeah, I do recommend. And hopefully I go again. And hopefully some of you there too. So yeah, if you did go, let me know your thoughts. And honestly, let me know what you think the coolest shit is, because I think this is fucking spectacular. I'm more happy with this than the fucking pictures. But Jesus, I love this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.